Hello, welcome back to my garden. In the beginning montage, you saw me pull back some black weed fabric here. We are in the rose garden, and this is the back corner opposite, obviously, the other back corner. Also, you may have seen, depending upon how I edit this, and I'm sorry, I'm swatting at deer flies, the massive ant pile that I found here underneath the weed fabric. Such is life. What I've been doing over the last few years to try to raise the ground up a bit and help improve the horrible ground soil beneath is I've been sort of composting in place. I've been adding used potting soils and a lot of grass clippings and branches and pine cones and all sorts of other good organic stuff to try to rot down in the area in place. And I put the weed fabric over this location last year. And the reason I'm doing this today is because I have an elderberry, which I spoke about in a previous video, I believe, that is looking quite sickly, not too great. Probably because it's been in its pot, I think, almost 3 years now. Maybe 2. Either way, I decided a few years ago, after I planted my first elderberry in the opposite corner, to do an elderberry back here in this corner. Eventually, there'll be some other shrubbery back here. Probably some more of the golden ticket privet that I've been growing elsewhere here in the garden. Probably right up in here towards the front corner, I'll do a rose bush, maybe 2, maybe 3. We will wait and see. It's a ways off, but for now, right now, before we get another rain, and now there's more rain on the way according to the weather radar. So what I think I'm going to do is right about here, I'm going to pull back some of this composted material here, grass clippings, a few other things here, and I'm going to be moving pretty quickly, and you're going to see me doing this quite a bit because there's fire ants everywhere. The next thing I'm going to do is add a bunch of compost, bagged compost, into this spot, and then I'm going to plant the elderberry into this spot. Now, the reason there's so many fire ants here is because they were semi-protected underneath the weed fabric. It was keeping them dryish. There's angry ants all over the place now. It's like a bad comedy. Also, my hope is that by pulling this weed fabric up and disrupting the fire ants here, they'll move their nests elsewhere. Let's go get the tree. All right, so here's the tree. And I don't know if you guys can tell, some of these branches are looking a little yellow, a little sickly. Again, it's been in this can a long time. There are a few small roots that are trying to push out. And if I try to lift this out, what we may see, well, there are a bunch of roots there, but if we turn it around, not too many roots there. So not really pot bound. I am gonna just gently tease some of these roots here just to get them to go elsewhere. And then we're gonna turn this like so. Oh, I'm gonna drop that in. There we go. Push all that compost back. All right, got to get some water, and we're going to give this guy a good drink. This is really just to help the roots settle in. Let the new compost settle in around the roots there. Some of you may be thinking or saying to yourself that this is not going to work. This compost is still hot. This isn't really hot compost. This is more like cold. It's just organic material that is rotting down. Think of it like a forest floor. And I would be skeptical of this too had I not previously done this with my elderberry. And my elderberry is thriving. What I'm going to do next, and I'm not going to bore you with this today, is I'm going to cover this area up with cardboard and then a fairly thick layer of mulch. It's for a couple of reasons. One, to keep the weeds down, and to maintain moisture in this area. Also, just to make it look a little prettier right now. This other half of weed fabric here that I'm standing on, this will be pulled up maybe later in the year and or next year. We'll have to wait and see how things go and how things develop, etc. But I really wanted to get this guy into the ground, let it start getting rooted and established. It'll be happier here in the ground versus being inside of its little pot. And as I mentioned, I'm going to cover this whole area up. I think I'm going to leave it uncovered though for at least the next 24 hours. Hopefully that rain that is inbound to us in a little bit will help drive the ants away. If not, in a day or two, when this ground is a little bit drier, I'm going to come back. I'll scratch up the surface. I'll aggravate the ants. I'll put down some ant bait killer. and that will hopefully eliminate and or force the ants to move on from this space. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, thoughts, whatever, you know where to leave them. We've gotten a bunch of new subscribers to the channel recently. Thank you very much for subscribing. Be sure to check out all the links below. And my little furry supervisor is hunting something over there off camera. So with all that being said, I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.